Alright, this is DHG, doing my review for Fallout 3. I had to film this twice because the first video screwed up, just looked terrible. But this is one of my favorite games of all time, and for good reason. It's still a blast to play even today. But I'm gonna review it regardless. If I had to rate this on my current scale, I would say it's good. Not great, just because, there are some problems along the way, like it's really buggy and it all depends on what platform you play it on. And if it was just PC, I would say great. But since it's PC and the console experience for this game is just horrible. I mean, even if you're playing it on a Xbox Series X with it upgraded to 4K resolution, 60 frames per second, you're still dealing with all the bugs that the consoles had. And the PlayStation version, oh, forget about it. Buggy as hell. That's just torture. But number one, graphics. I don't like addressing graphics much because even if the game looks great, the game could still suck and have great graphics. Or be boring as hell. Just look at the Crysis games. Crysis 1 was alright, but I'm digressing. This game looks pretty good when it comes to the environments. The landscapes are a sight to behold. The explosions you're seeing all look pretty nice, even though it's all the same explosion except for when you blow up a bus. But the facial animations and just the ways the faces are created, they go from looking very plastic-y to lifeless. Some just look outright horrible. 2, controls. I suppose this all depends on what you're playing it with. If it's mouse and keyboard, then this is irrelevant because you can just configure them however you want. But I like playing with a gamepad. And on a gamepad, and I mean, it plays pretty well for... There's that damn video again. Okay, screw it, I'm just rolling with it this time. On a gamepad, it plays just fine. There are some issues with dead zones, like it wasn't really meant to be a first-person shooter. I'll get into that next. So if you're trying to do like precise aiming and all that stuff, it doesn't really work out. But the way that you interface with the game, it all works pretty well, so the controls are good. They didn't go out of the way to make it a pain in the ass or make it overly complicated like some of the Rockstar games. Gameplay. Controls and gameplay used to be the same segment. I decided to split them up. And on the gameplay front, it works out pretty well. The VAT system, which I'm sure you'll see in a second here. Yeah, I'm about to do a VATS thing right here. This is how most of your combat's going to be done, just because the aiming is so unreliable. But that makes for a lot of explosive moments, so can't complain about the VATS. That's the start of the game. Managing your inventory, tracking what quests you're doing and all that stuff works pretty well. The gameplay, you could hoard stuff up, stick it into your house whenever you get access to one. It all works pretty well, so I can't complain about it on that front. The sound. The sound is really good. I mean, it's pretty even kill. There's not a lot of things like when certain guns. I was just playing the first Crysis on PlayStation 5 the other day, and when you fire the pistols, it's so much louder than all the other guns. You don't have any of those issues here. Nothing will like make you turn down the volume on your headset or nothing. It's all pretty even, pretty consistent, and all sounds pretty good. There's nothing that, I'd hear it and go, oh, that just sounds horrible. They could have got a better sound clip for that. It's all good. The music is still very good. This has always been a strong point with Bethesda games. Doesn't matter if it's Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and I'm pretty sure the upcoming Starfield's going to be the same way. The ambient music in the background's all very good. Bethesda's like in a league of their own when it comes to music. The Witcher's up in that department too, but very good. The story. The story for this game I thought it wasn't as extravagant as Fallout 4 or even New Vegas, who was the king of stories. This one just seemed a lot more practical. Because you've got all this, I don't know how long this takes place after the bombs fell, but All the water's irradiated, people are suffering from it. You can imagine the problems that come with that. And then here comes a team of scientists with a fresh water source. They got a way to clean the water, and then you have people that want to capitalize on that, charge people for it, use it as a method of control. And they're saying no. They're looking at this from a completely philanthropic point of view, which would be your father in the game and that team of scientists he's with. And I thought that's a lot more realistic than some of the other games you get out there, so I enjoyed that bit of it. Then it shows how he gives his life for the cause. Wasn't it like, wasn't as extravagant as Fallout 4 with the Brotherhood of Steel coming in and all that crap, but it was very good. Stability and bugs. Oh boy. Well, this game crashed about 5 times on me during the playthrough. Considering that I played through about 67 hours, that's not that bad. But I played it on GOG, not Steam. I can't even get the game to run on Steam. It all has to do with the games from Windows Live. GOG just managed to, because, being the wizards they are, they managed to take that out of the game entirely. So if you're going to get it on PC, get it on GOG. Forget the Steam version. Now, consoles. If you go back and try to play this on 360, or God forbid, the PS3, just don't. I mean, they were that bad, especially on the PlayStation 3. I don't know what it was about the Bethesda games in the PlayStation 3 area, but Fallout New Vegas on PlayStation 3 was the nightmarish of experiences. Once your save file got above a certain, I think it was like 5,400 megabytes, somewhere around there, you can forget it. Your game's just going to crash constantly, single-digit frame rates. And Fallout 3 was very buggy at the time, too. So, if you're playing it on PC, it's going to be pretty stable. Playing on console, not so much. Any opinions I have on here for my last point of the review? Not really. I thought they did a pretty good job with Fallout 3. I mean, there was a lot of hype around it because some of the old timers for the series, the ones that remember when it was, I guess, like a turn-based top-down view like Diablo from the isometric camera, they didn't like how Bethesda pretty much made it Oblivion with guns, which it was, but I thought it worked out pretty well. It revived the series. If Bethesda hadn't done it, then Fallout just would have been a thing in the past, and someone else could have acquired the license and really fucked it up. But Bethesda did good with it. A lot of fun to play, even to this day. That stills the show. The story's pretty good, sounds good, graphics are... depends on what you're looking at. But overall, I don't have many complaints about Fallout 3 except for the stability, which is all mainly gathered around the games for Windows Live. And that's my review for Fallout 3. Good.